We have Mark Garriga. He's a member of Butler Stowe's Government Environmental.
Anything to do with healthcare reform. Probably it's, the real reason for
here will now have some sort of financial assistance. And those tax changes were on the debate about how can economic substance doctrine has now been.
This is an extremely complex piece of legislation. The PPACA, Patient Protection Affordability Act of 2010 is going to be a plan that's going to be hard to implement. It's going to have a big effect on small and large employers, and it's going to cost a lot of money.
And where is your department going to be in the process?
I'm a regulator. My job is to enforce the law, whether I like it or not. That's my job. And we will enforce it, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible for small and large industry to gravitate towards the new changes in the law.
Certain effective dates and the applicability of, in other words, real business purpose to engage in it, not just a tax matter. Now I'll turn the program over to these times.
get them going. They're going to be called the American Health.
And there's been a lot of heated rhetoric on either side. Just where does the civility come from, and just maybe trying to understand. I mean, everybody has different ideas. Everybody probably wants what's best for the American people, but
I think
what's your opinion there?
I think you're right. For those of us, for those who are opposed to the bill, the time has passed for all that political rhetoric. I think what we all have to do now is sort of dig into the details. There may be parts of this bill that are just simply unworkable. Democrats, Republicans are going to have to work together to make those changes. People in the business community have got to learn about this bill. They've got to explain to the bureaucrats what parts work and what parts don't. It's just going to be a lot of work. It's time to put the politics aside for a while and try to make this, this is what we have, so we have to try to make it work.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned there at the end the cost and how it affected that one particular company. Talk some about that. Not to name them, but just explain what happened to them.
Well, I mean, one of the things that people have observed about the bill is that the penalties for dropping coverage for your employees may not match the cost of coverage. What I mean is there could be plenty of companies out there that will be tempted to drop their health plans because the penalties are a lot less than it costs to provide the coverage as is. Now, a lot of this will be fleshed out through regulations, but we've got to ask ourselves, what are the implications here? Does this mean that we're moving, that we're going to move all of America away from group plans to individual plans that are purchased through the healthcare exchanges? A lot of people think so, only time will tell. But at least the way it works now with the penalties and incentives in place, we could be looking at a vastly changed landscape within 3 years.
And then talk some about the governor's decision to file suit and just where that's going to take us and what are his chances maybe. I
think we're up to 20 states plus the National Federation of Independent Business are part of a lawsuit that challenges the individual mandate. That is the requirement by the bill that as an individual you have to purchase insurance, or by an employer that you must purchase health insurance for your company. And so the litigation is going to test whether that's constitutional. And really, I mean, there's no reason why this probably won't make it all the way to the Supreme Court. Whether it survives, whether it doesn't, I don't know. I'm a lawyer, I can only speculate. But I will tell you this, if the insurance mandate is gone, that is, if the litigation is successful, then significant parts of this bill will have to be rewritten. Now, we'll just have to wait and see. It'll take a couple of years at a minimum for this to make it through the courts. But, a lot's still left to be done with healthcare. If you're an employer out there and you haven't looked at this bill or have you talked to your accountant about it or your lawyers about it, you really need to.